I wonder what that random kiosk is doing there, and why someone sealed it up instead of tearing it down. I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Brandon. Please join me on this tour of the Merle Hay Mall in Des Moines, Iowa. Instead of going through the main entrance, we are going through the food court instead. Since there are already a few Merle Hay videos, I thought we'd mix it up a bit. Merle Hay is the second of my Des Moines Mall series. The first started with Park Fair. The history of Merle Hay begins in 1958, with the construction of a new open-air mall a mere 2 years after the opening of Park Fair, the first enclosed mall in Des Moines. Merle Hay was developed by Joseph Abel and Bernard Greenbaum and Associates. Robert Greenbaum and the firm of Dietrich and Gibson designed the complex. The mall was going to be called Northland Shopping Center, but executives from Yonkers, a future mall anchor, suggested the name Merle Hay Plaza. Private Merle Hay was the first Iowan to die fighting in World War I. Merle Hay Plaza opened with around 30 shops and a bowling alley on August 17, 1959. According to an article from the Des Moines Register, attending the grand opening were Iowa Governor Herschel C. Lovelace, Des Moines Mayor Charles Iles, City Council members, and Mrs. America 1960 herself, Mrs. Margaret Pribe. The article also mentions John Patterson wrote. Wow, they actually printed Mrs. America's address in the newspaper. What a different time. Today one would be worried about a stalker, but back then, maybe people would use her address to go find her and bring her a casserole or another treat for winning the competition. Oh, one comment for those of you paying close attention. Miss Pribe won the 1960 contest in 1959, which is why she was at the mall's grand opening that year. She's not a time traveler. Also at the opening ceremonies were singer Don Cornell as well as Keith Killinger's band. Yo-Yo the Clown was on site handing out candy and balloons. Merle Hay's original anchors were a 3-story Yonkers located at the southern end of the complex, and a 2-story Sears at the northern end. Other early tenants included Baker's Qualicraft Shoes, Bishop Buffet, Fannie Farmer Candies, Joseph's Jewelers, Maternity Modes, Safeway Supermarket, Shoppers World, and SS Kresge 5 and Dime. Kresge was 2 stories tall like the Sears. On January 28, 1966, a new single-screen cinema called Plaza Theater opened, next to the mall. Its first feature was The Spy Who Came In From the Cold. By the end of the same year, a 6-story tall office building called Merle Hay Tower was built next to the theater. Moving into the 1970s, work began to enclose the open-air mall and expand it further west into the city of Urbandale. On September 23, 1972, the now enclosed complex was rededicated as Merle Hay Mall. A construction crew broke ground on May 24, 1973. The new section of the mall was anchored by a 1-story Yonkers store for homes and a 2-story Montgomery Ward. These anchors opened on Halloween 1974, giving Merle Hay a total of 4 anchors. Competition to Merle Hay really started to grow in the 1970s. Big box stores opened directly north of Merle Hay, and in 1975, 2 more malls opened. Southridge in southern Des Moines and Valley West, less than 6 miles to the southwest of Merle Hay. Before the end of the decade, a terrible fire broke out in the original Yonkers in November 1978. 10 employees perished. The store was closed for nearly a year, reopening at the end of October 1979. In November 1983, Kresge's closed. The mall owners decided to rip up its basement and the lower level of neighboring stores to create more shops. The basement was originally a civil defense and bomb shelter. According to an article from Access Des Moines, the bomb shelter still contained canned food and bunk beds. The remodel, called the Garden Court, opened at the end of 1985 in the lower level of the mall next to the bowling alley. In addition to 15 shops, the section also contained a new food court. In 1988, the Plaza Theater closed. Its last showing was Hoosiers. In 1989, the section of the mall near the Yonkers Store for Homes anchor was converted into a second food court. Moving into the 1990s, Yonkers Store for Homes closed in August 1991. A Kohl's replaced it in April 1993. In 1992, the movie theater reopened as Merle Hay Mall Cinema. Montgomery Ward then closed at the end of May 1999. Moving into the 21st century, the lower level of Merle Hay closed permanently in the year 2000. The main entrance to the lower level was sealed off and covered by a children's play area. Other than a haunted house that the mall ran in the early aughts, nobody but select mall employees and brave dead mall documentarians have been in the basement in 24 years. Oh, I'm not brave, I did not get in the basement, but I know some people who did. I will share their story later in this video. Okay, I need to take a break from mall history to share something really cool. You can view about half the mall on Google Maps. You can just wander around. It's wow! I have something even cooler to share later in the video. So, I never got into the secret basement. I did mention the secret area to an employee at the bowling alley, and she politely but firmly acknowledged its existence and that I could not go in. Now, instead of apologizing or defending myself, I'm going to recommend another channel. Man-Made Archaeology has 5 short videos on Merle Hay, and 2 of them are of the spooky secret area. In addition to the basement videos, Man-Made Archaeology also has a regular Merle Hay video and 2 videos inside the abandoned Yonkers. I love watching videos of people sneaking around places with the fear of being caught. It's a thrill. Oh, I just have to share a few seconds of the basement, but this isn't a reaction video. I will let you watch the video on your own. Or leave my video early. I understand if you do. I have a thick skin, I'll be alright. Hey, look at that up ahead on the left. It's another one of those kiosks that we saw at the food court entrance. I bet those are staircases for security to get in and out of the secret basement, but I am guessing. Returning to mall history. In the western section of the mall, management expanded the ward space for a famous bar department store, which opened in August 2000. It closed in June 2004. The original Yonkers moved into the space, leaving behind a large, empty anchor. But not to worry, there were plans to tear down the old Yonkers building for a brand new Target. But we should be worrying about the future. In August 2004, a mere 10 miles to the southwest, the 2 million square foot shopping behemoth Jordan Creek Town Center opened to the public. Why go to a mall stuck in the 1970s with a nice giant mall so close by? Returning to Merle Hay, the Target was dedicated in August 2005. Alright, let's time travel again. Let's go to 2019 and look at the old entryway to the Sears. This is pretty good, but let's see something even better. In 2017, Sears was still open. I believe the staircase and elevator went to the employees section of Sears. And here we are again in 2023. In order to get to Kohl's, one either has to freeze in the winter or deal with smoke in the summer. On both visits, forest fires from Canada were wreaking havoc with the weather. There was always some smoke in the air in my 2 visits. Some days were dark gray and others light gray. I hope the summer of 2024 is better. With the threat of the new mall, Merle Hay management started making big changes to the place. The owners updated the stores by the main entrance to become large exterior-facing tenants. Staples opened as one of the big box stores in March 2009, and then Ulta Beauty in June, and Shoe Carnival in October. Today, Staples is a Ross Dress for Less. Merle Hay continued to have renovations to stay relevant. The biggest change since the 1970s occurred in the middle of the mall. In July 2013, the center court area was ripped up for a new brewpub movie theater called Flick's Brewhouse. The 8-screen cinema would serve food and beer from its on-site microbrewery. During the renovation, shoppers were forced to enter a small tunnel to travel from one side of the mall to the other. In the middle of 2014, the remodel was finally finished. Merle Hay Mall Cinema closed on December 15th with a showing of Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1.
But what about Part 2?
Flick's Brewhouse opened 2 days later. I have shared a few of Nathan Bush's photographs from before and during the renovation. He has over 800 photographs of Merle Hay going back to the late aughts. I wanted to include so many more, but I thought it would be rude. I will include a link to his photographs for you to peruse. They are fantastic. Before watching this video, you may have known about the secret basement in Merle Hay, but did you know about its zoo? The Academy of Wildlife Education opened in the mall in 2010. People were really angry that wild animals were living in small cages in the mall. After petitions and protests, the zoo closed in Halloween 2014. The city of Des Moines took control of the animals and relocated them to the local Blank Park Zoo, Animal Rescue League of Iowa, and the Wild Animal Sanctuary in Colorado. You may have noticed that sometimes this section of the mall is bright and sometimes dark. I took all the bright footage on a Saturday morning. When I returned on a Monday morning, the lights were off. In 2006, Yonkers was purchased by the Bon-Ton chain. It remained open in its final location until the entire Bon-Ton chain filed for bankruptcy. Yonkers closed on October 29, 2018. Then, the Sears closed a few months later. Merle Hay had lost half its anchors in months. However, mall management was quick to find a replacement for Yonkers. They were going to rebuild the site as a new home for the Des Moines Buccaneers hockey team. The Buccaneers are a Tier 1 junior hockey team in the United States. I should clarify that the mall was quick to find a replacement, but not quick to get them in the building. As of January 2024, the Buccaneers have yet to move into Merle Hay. Going back a few years, the Sears building was demolished. A new detached Kohl's opened in its place, leaving the old Kohl's empty. I wondered why Kohl's moved. I thought maybe they wanted to be visible at the front of the mall, or maybe they didn't need the giant Sears. But according to the mall's owners, the plan was to split the mall into zones, with shopping on the east and entertainment on the west. In keeping with their vision, the former Kohl's is now home to Dink's Pickleball. I have to say that with all the competition, Merle Hay's owners have been great in keeping the place relevant. Yes, there are a few empty tenants, but the mall is doing better than the dying Valley West, half-demolished Southridge, and completely demolished Kaleidoscope at the Hub. So will I return to Merle Hay? Absolutely, but probably no new video anytime in the near future. There are several Merle Hay videos out there already, but nearby Marshalltown, Meadow Lane, and Penn Central need more love. As for Marshalltown, I plan to have a video out later this year, as well as its photographed but never filmed older sibling Meadow Lane. Boy, I sure would love to be the first person to share a video about Meadow Lane. I hope nobody releases one before me. Oh, whatever would I do? No, I'm serious. I think it would be cool if somebody did release a video before me. I would love to see it. All this walking and talking has made me hungry. What's a good treat to have in Iowa? So here I am at Merle Hay Mall. I'm about to eat a Maid-Rite. Let's see how this goes. I'm probably going to need a spoon because it's basically a big sloppy Joe without the slop. Pretty good. So where am I going next? I'm going to a Des Moines mall that as of January 2024 has been photographed but never filmed. It's Haymarket, right up the street from Merle Hay. Thank you for joining me on this tour of Merle Hay Mall. I hope you have a great day. Take care.